So a few days ago I published this video where I showed you how to make the most common types of 3D character controllers in Godot using GDScript or C#. And by the way, yep, I shared all these scripts and demos on my Patreon, so if you're curious, you want to learn more, then go ahead and do like my brand new line members, Daniel Torres and CD, join my Patreon community to get exclusive perks and rewards and to help support the channel. But anyway, today I decided that I'd go a bit further and give myself a new shortcode challenge like I did in this other episode, so we're going to recode the third-person rotate mechanic, but in just 6 lines in GDScript. So buckle up, because we're going to learn some pretty hacky tricks today. Again, we of course need to use a character body 3D node for our player, with a collision shape 3D child node inside, and a typical controller script could look like this. In a nutshell, this code uses the physics process hook to update the velocity of our player and eventually update its position with the move and slide function. More specifically, we use our up and down input keys to move forward or backward relative to our current player orientation. We have a simple jump and gravity feature, and finally we use the left and right input keys to rotate our character around the vertical axis. Okay, that's nice and basic, but we can shrink this way down. In particular, it would be really cool to condense those if-else blocks. And well, we can do that easily thanks to a pretty strange trick. Since those if blocks are meant to return different values for the various components of our velocity vector, we can actually replace them by arrays with each possible return value that we access at the index corresponding to the identified version of our condition. Okay, so let me back up just a bit. The idea behind this line of code is that we first compute our Boolean condition and thus get a true or false value, just like we used to do in our if-else block. Then we convert it to an integer, which will be a 0 or 1. And finally, we use this 0 or 1 identified boolean as the index for this array, where we have our 2 possible results for either the false condition result, so at the index 0, or the true condition result at the index 1. So this line is indeed equivalent to the if block we had before, but in just a single line. We can of course do that for both our horizontal and vertical components, and then another quick trick can be to merge those 2 lines into one, since those operations are actually independent and they can be done at the same time, just by summing the horizontal and vertical computations. Here I'm using a backslash to put this on a new line visually and keep everything on screen, but in terms of code, this is still the same instruction. And finally, we can cheat a bit and use a semicolon to force the final instructions to be on the same line. In GDScript, just like in Python, the semicolon is another way of separating instructions other than the usual basic line return. But in any case, here we go! We've now got a basic 3D FPS controller written in Godot in just 6 lines of code. Yay! Of course, if you enjoyed this video, feel free to hit the like button and subscribe to get more gamedev content. As always, thanks a lot for watching, and take care.